Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And I looked up and I saw smoke coming out. And I thought to myself, oh my God, these houses are close to each other.
A Hartford house goes up in flames, killing one person, and neighbors are talking to Fox 61. We'll have their reaction tonight. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez.
This fire in Hartford marks the second investigation in just about 48 hours where someone has died.
Fox 61's Kay Pattyfoot spoke with neighbors along Whitney Street. That's where this afternoon's fire broke out.
Several families are out of their home tonight after another fatal fire in Hartford. The Red Cross tells me they've seen an increase in fires at multifamily homes, and they said just this month alone they have helped over 30 people displaced from fires. Firefighters arrived at 147 Whitney Street in Hartford Monday afternoon. Officials say they saw smoke and flames coming out of the third floor of the home. Next door neighbor Priya Morgensen said it was scary to watch.
And I heard a commotion over here and I started to smell smoke. And I looked out the door and it was smoky and I said, what's going on? Is there a fire? And somebody, I don't know who it was, said, yeah, there's a fire. And I looked up and I saw smoke coming out. And I thought to myself, oh my God.
Morgensen said fire crews came out in force and got control of the fire. Sadly, the Hartford District Fire Chief says one person died in the fire, marking the second fatal fire in just days in the city. John Basso, Senior Director of Disaster Services for the Red Cross, said there has been an increase in fires, especially in Hartford.
We've responded to 8 different incidents in the last month period. We've assisted 44 families. So yes, it's been very active. It's that time of year. More people are indoors. There's cooking fires. There's heating fires. It runs the gamut of different reasons.
The Red Cross says house fires increase in October when things start to get cold. Basso said when Red Cross volunteers are at the scene of a fire, they are there to assist in any way necessary.
We assess their needs. We provide immediate needs for whether they need lodging, replacement clothing, do they have a place to stay, and we start the recovery process. It starts the minute we meet them.
The fire at 147 Whitney Street is still being investigated, but officials tell me it's important to check the batteries in your smoke detectors to make sure it's working properly. In Hartford, Kay Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Now to Milford Superior Court, where today a judge made a ruling ahead of the upcoming murder trial of Jose Morales. He is the man accused of killing the mother of his baby daughter.
Police believe he also has something to do with his daughter's disappearance. Little Vanessa hasn't been seen since she was 14 months old.
The judge said today evidence regarding her disappearance will be allowed at trial. Fox 61's Kayla Cade was there to hear the latest on the case, and she joins us from Milford with more.
There was a hearing at 10 this morning for Jose Morales. His attorneys did not want the court to use his daughter's disappearance during the trial because it may mislead the jury.
That evidence, in my opinion, is not relevant or material to the crime charged, the homicide of Christine Holloway by Jose Morales.
Jose Morales sat in a Milford Superior courtroom as his attorney, Edward Gavin, asked the judge to not include Morales' daughter, Vanessa, in his trial.
The testimony that says this evidence was in relation to the investigation of missing Vanessa Morales is the prejudicial effect that I'm trying to avoid.
However, State Prosecutor Howard Stein argued it should be used in the trial. He says Ansonia police interviewed people about the mother and daughter, and they all said Vanessa was always seen with her mom, Christine Holloway.
To suddenly find Christine Holloway dead and to find Vanessa Morales not with her mother is going to be inexplicably connected to direct and circumstantial evidence with regard to the death of Christine Holloway.
The judge said Vanessa's disappearance can be used in Morales' trial.
The court finds that the probative value of the evidence outweighs its prejudicial effect.
Morales is accused of murdering Holloway on December 2, 2019 in her home in Ansonia. Police say she was found dead in her bathtub. Vanessa disappeared the same day and still hasn't been found. According to an arrest warrant for Morales back in 2020, a neighbor told police he saw Morales get into his car with Vanessa the day before Holloway was killed. The warrant also says Morales told police he used the hallucinogenic drug PCP multiple times during the weekend of November 29th through December 1st. Morales claims he doesn't remember what happened during that weekend, but said he would never harm his girlfriend or daughter. Investigators say they found bloody clothes and toys in 2 kiduation donation bins that match Holloway's DNA. They say they also found a child's pink Croc shoe in the bins that matched a shoe found in Holloway's house. Morales has been in jail ever since and is charged with Holloway's murder and tampering with physical evidence. He is not facing charges with Vanessa's disappearance. He was offered a plea deal last year, but prosecutors and Morales couldn't agree on the terms. We spoke with Holloway's sister-in-law and Vanessa's aunt, Jody Jacobellis, about the plea deal in July.
Myself and the family are content with going to trial because now we can prove that Jose committed the crime, and there will be justice for my sister-in-law, Christine.
Jacobellis says the family just wants justice and to know where Vanessa is.
The hurt that we live with every day, searching for our niece when there's no answers.
Morales will be back in court tomorrow for a jury selection. His trial is expected to start on March 18th. In Milford, Kayla Cade, Fox 61.
To stay up to date on both of those big headlines, just scan the QR code there on your screen. You can download it for free at the Fox 61 News app.
All right, let's get a check now on that winter warm-up that we talked about for days and have been enjoying for a couple of days now.
Yeah, Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now. So, Rachel, how long will this nice stretch of weather last us?
I would say right through the end of the week. We're looking at temperatures in the 40s and even 50s, so a lot of melting expected. In fact, I really just looked around, at least the Hartford area, here where Fox 61 is tonight, and other than those gigantic snow piles, everything that's on the grass has already melted. The farther north you go, the more snow or ice is what it is at this point there is. But I expect significant melting as we head through the end of the week. We have not hit 50 degrees in over 100 days, so it has been quite some time, and we are going to get there for several days in a row. Temperatures tonight in the 30s, and notice we don't even drop below freezing at night. So we have melting during the days and nights. Heading through the day tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies, and I think we're cloudy as we head through the afternoon. There is a chance for a few scattered showers as we head through, let's say between 4 to about 9 p.m. It won't rain the entire time. They'll be kind of hit or miss in nature, but if you are out during that time frame, you might have to dodge a few raindrops. We're going to talk about when the sun returns so you could actually enjoy this warm up. Full forecast coming up.
Today, local leaders and educators gathered at Manchester High School to speak out on looming federal funding cuts for public education.
The Connecticut Education Association says local districts are under threat and students will be the ones who suffer.
Fox 61's Bridget Bureau joins us in studio now with a closer look at the local impact. Bridget.
Francera, the state's largest teachers union says Connecticut stands to lose more than $321 million in federal grant funding. Educators say that means a number of programs will be in jeopardy, especially those that focus on low-income families, early education for childhood, and high-need students as well.
Not only will our children's education be compromised, but their safety will be as well.
Darlene Wentworth is the mother of a freshman at Manchester High School. She says she's worried about her daughter's future if the promise of federal funding cuts to public education is delivered.
My daughter, she has multiple disabilities. She cannot speak. She can walk with assistance, and that was because of the school systems and the education she received.
The Trump administration continues to work on an executive order to begin to scale down the Department of Education. Just last week, that same department announced the elimination of more than $600 million in education grants.
I fear that this will also cause classrooms to be downsized, which will in turn cause children with vastly different special needs and ages to be placed in the same classroom. And this presents a safety issue, as many children require different levels of support.
The Connecticut Education Association says that means a $321 million budget cut for Connecticut public schools, meaning either local districts and taxpayers have to make up the difference or things get cut back.
This is painful for me because every kid that they're talking about today was me. Every chance that I have right now is because I had teachers in a school who gave a damn about me.
In Manchester alone, the district could lose $6.7 million in federal grant funding, but larger districts will take an even bigger hit. Take Waterbury, for instance. They could face a shortfall of $23.8 million, $22.5 million in Bridgeport, $21 million in New Haven, and $18.2 million in Hartford. And without all that federal funding, districts will be forced to make tough decisions involving cutting staff and student services that help keep children on track.
You eliminate these federal programs, you don't get off cheap. Local taxpayers are going to have to foot the bill.
Local leaders and educators are calling on the community to stand together and show support for public education investment through a statewide campaign to wear red next Tuesday, March 4th, and bring attention to those who could suffer the most from fewer funds.
Special needs students are our most vulnerable, and their needs should never be compromised.
One of the programs potentially on the chopping block is Head Start, which delivers education, health, nutrition, and parent support services to some of the poorest families in our community. Just in Manchester alone, federal funding provides $1.7 million specifically for that program, money that could potentially be taken away. In studio tonight, I'm Bridget Buorlo, Fox 61. Brent?